showtime.
Crank it up.
You heard the man crank it up.
I'm so ready.
It's almost time.
How you doing?
Are you there?
Yeah.
See, we're on a mission from God.
That's right. And get your ticket out. Romans 10:9 is your ticket to board this train. How you doing? This is the First Cup radio show. My name is Michael. I'm glad you're with us on this morning, this afternoon, this evening, this midnight rendezvous, this 2 a.m., this 3, whatever time you're listening. As we discussed in the previous two shows, we kind of do this once a week right now, trying to get it to the point we can do it every week. Or not every week. We're already doing it every week. Come on, Mikey. Talking about doing it daily. Wouldn't that be a hoot, huh? But anyway, time will tell. What's coming up today? Well, first of all, we're going to get started. Name this person. Name this person. Are you ready to play? Okay, here we go. Name this person.
Jesus felt what we felt. He faced what we face today.
Think about it. Think about it. You need to hear it again? Now, sure are you? Just not sure. Now, see if you had the video, you'd know. This is the audio. Tell me who this person is. You probably already know him. Well, I know you know him, but tell me who it is.
Jesus felt what we felt. He faced what we face today.
That's Joel Osteen. Joel Osteen talking about Jesus. Not that that's so weird. You know, I've been watching a lot of the videos. I think sometimes he gets a bad rap, but the problem where he's not getting the correct, or the raps right, spot on, I should say, is prosperity, this prosperity, health and wealth and all that. Yes, I believe Jesus and God can give us any of that we want. No ands, ifs, or buts about it. Got to have the faith. I think it all starts with faith. But the point of the gospel, the point of Jesus Christ, the point of Jesus dying on the cross was not for God to be our Santa Claus. It was for eternity. Because this life, the only life we know to this point, this life, well, I tell you, pick up a handful of sand. Go to the beach, pick up a handful of sand. Take one granule of that sand. That's your life. That's it. In comparison, it's just a blink of an eye. Our goal is eternity. Yes, we'd like to have a good life here on earth, but it's not important. What about all the homeless? What about all the people that just don't have the good life? Or any way of achieving a good life? What are they to do? Yeah, you can say that, if you're going by the prosperity gospel, well, send me money, plant the seed, plant the seed. Anyway, we're not going to get into that subject, but I just thought it was interesting now that, well, we just heard from Joel. Let's listen to it again because that's pretty cool, really.
Jesus felt what we felt. He faced what we face today.
Okay, there's a TV show coming up. We're going to be talking about that in our movies and recommendations coming up. Well, that's coming up later on in the program. Now, let's get the critical stuff out of the way. Firstcup.net, that's our website. Share it with people. First Cup, that's 1stcup.net. And you can follow us on Twitter. Okay, Twitter, @CupFirst. Now, we're going to be having a YouTube channel before too long. That's to be announced. I know I've been saying that for the last couple of weeks, but it's coming, I promise you. Now, if you'd like to email us, you can do that too at the number one, CR, like 1 Cup Radio. That's 1CR at firstcup.net. Okay, first up today. Last week I had an opportunity to visit the GC3 Recovery Ranch in Poteau, Oklahoma. Had a chance to sit down and talk to the founder. His name's Kane. Okay, as far as that goes here, I'll pull up his, Kane's good, Kane Riggs. Okay, I guess it doesn't matter. Founder and director. He's the founder and the director of the GC3 Recovery Ranch. And it's only been around for a couple of years, 2.5 years, but it's been growing. It's just really amazing. Now, matter of fact, you can go to our website, go to my website at, our website, firstcup.net, go to the article section. Matter of fact, there's an article that I put up there this week. But here's Kane, and he's going to be telling you more about the GC3 Recovery Ranch. This is in Poteau, Oklahoma. Now, this, first of all, it's not a recovery program. Maybe I didn't. I'll let him tell you. Okay, here's Kane, GC3 Recovery Ranch.
Almost 9 years ago, I got saved, but for 20 years before that, I was a drug addict and alcoholic. I wasn't only a drug addict, I was a drug dealer. Things got bad in my life, and things were spiraling downhill. I was on the verge of losing my business I'd had, and on the verge of losing my wife. And my wife's mother had hung herself, tried to commit suicide because they was strung out on drugs also. And that was when God began to speak to me that night. I'll never forget it. I was looking down at the sidewalk, and me and my wife, and she was just distraught. And I can still remember the crack I seen in the sidewalk that day, and I looked up and I told my wife, I said, I'm done. I'm done being a drug addict. I'm done selling dope. I'm done with all this stuff. About 5 days passed, and I didn't get high and I didn't get drunk, but I done something I'd never done before. Every time that we'd always move from place to place, she had an old Bible that her grandmother had brought her. And I said, where's that Bible at? I want to look at it, and I'd always hide it. I'd throw it under the couch if it was sitting out. I got that Bible, and late at night I began to read it, and I would just sit in there and cry. And God was softening my heart, and I didn't even know it. And I went by an old preacher's house. I knocked on his door, and I was sitting there crying. I had a mohawk. I had piercings. I'm covered in tattoos from one end to the other. And I'm just broken. And I said, preacher, I need Jesus. When I got up out of that floor and I walked out of that house, I knew something had happened to me. When I went home, man, I got that Bible out and I started to read it again. I just began to cry. The presence of God come into that room and lifted me back up. And, I got up that next morning and I went by Walmart and I bought me a brand new little Bible. I didn't have a Bible. And I'd made $200 that weekend playing the clubs. And I took and I bought the Bible, and I took the rest of that money and I put it in the offering plate. I said, God, if you're real, God, and you love me like people say, I need some help. Because, God, I'm going to go back to where I come from, because I know how to be a drug addict and I know how to be a drunk, but I don't know how to be a very good Christian. And I said, God, I said, you got to help me. Please, God, please help me. And, man, that began my journey with God. It wasn't just a few weeks later that I ended up in a 12-step faith-based recovery. We was down in southern Arkansas, and we was doing a prison revival down there. And God began to speak to me about the recovery ranch. There was horses and cows and a garden and all these things, but I thought it was kids. And I come home from the revival, and I told my wife, I said, we're going to have this ranch. I think it's going to be for kids. And it was exciting. You think about little kids and horses and all that. Well, it was just a short time later, I was down there doing another revival. And as I was standing up there giving my testimony to all these men in white, I looked out across there, and God said, there's the kids. there's the kids, you know, and I look and I say, God, man, these kids, man, they're a pretty rough-looking bunch of kids here, you know. And so I went home and I told my wife, this recovery ranch is going to be for guys that's been in jail and in drug treatment and needs a place to go. I ended up here at Green Country Cowboy Church. They had a testimony service, and 3 couples got up and give their testimonies. And the guys had talked about that they had drinking problems. And, you know, it's just kind of like a light went off in my head that they need a recovery ministry. Well, when we started here, this place, it was growed up. There was no roads. There was no anything here. And it was just a pasture and a bunch of brush. We finished this bunkhouse. We got some guys in here. We got our house finished here. And, you know, we're beginning to do what God's called us to do. I'm seeing families restored, lives being changed, guys coming out of 20-year drug addiction that their families won't even speak to them. And they come here. This is not a rehab program. This is a discipleship program, because when you get a hold of who God is and what Jesus wants to do in your life, the drugs will leave, the alcohol will leave. There's no room for that stuff in your life. We can't do this without people's help. Not just money, man. We need hay. We need feed. You know, our vision is bigger here. We have a vision for a shop area. We got a guy wanting to give us $25,000 worth of woodworking equipment, but we can't get it until we have a shop to put it in. We've got guys that's wanting to come out here and put welders out here and teach welding, but we can't do it till there's a shop. God's vision is bigger than this, for us to help hundreds of men. It takes people to build the kingdom here. And, you know, and that's why we're excited today.
And you should be too. This is really an outstanding place. I mean, you know, it's very humble. And when I was out there the other day, go to our website. Read the article that we posted in the articles page. That's at firstcup.net. Now, I misspoke earlier. Yeah, they're a recovery program. Kane said it right here. They're not a drug rehab, but they're a discipleship program. You know, everything they're doing is based on Jesus Christ, on the Bible. Check them out. The website is GC3recoveryranch.com. Doesn't matter where you are. You may be on the other side of the world. You can still help. There's a place there you can make a donation. Every little bit helps. And I hope you'll help them out. I really do. Okay, this is First Cup Radio Show. My name is Michael. We're just getting started on this, our third show. Coming out, no more money planned for Planned Parenthood in Ohio. United Methodist Church, they had their conference here a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about that. Matter of fact, one of the first things we talked about is the outstanding vote, although, you know, it's common sense, about no more gay marriage, no more gay preachers in the Methodist Church. Well, it turns out now that vote may have been a fraud. Don't know. Sounds like somebody didn't get their way, and when I tell you who investigated this to determine that could have been a fraud, now it'll make more sense. All right, coming up next. Well, that's coming up next, and we're going to be talking about that in the next segment. And that's holy smoke, man! You're listening to First Cup Radio. We'll be back in a moment.